Before ice packs and fancy lunch kits, school lunches were whatever mom could make from the pantry in 5 minutes. Just white bread, a jar or two, and a sheet of wax paper. And somehow, those simple sandwiches fed a whole generation. Here are 10 forgotten school lunches moms packed when money was tight. Number 1. Peanut butter and banana sandwich. Peanut butter and banana sandwich was one of those lunches you could spot the second a kid opened his metal lunchbox. The smell of peanut butter and ripe banana drifted across the cafeteria table before the wax paper was even folded back. It started with 2 slices of soft white bread, a thick swipe of creamy peanut butter spread all the way to the crust. Then a banana was sliced into little coins and layered across the top before the bread was pressed together. By lunchtime, those banana slices had already turned soft and a little brown, blending into the peanut butter. The bread absorbed everything, making the sandwich tender and slightly sticky. The taste was sweet, nutty, and smooth. Peanut butter is rich and salty, and banana is mellow and sugary. Some kids ate it neat. Others squeezed the sandwich a little so the filling pushed out the sides and licked it off their fingers before the next bite. Simple food like that had a way of making an ordinary school day feel pretty darn good. Number 2. Peanut butter and marshmallow fluff sandwich. Peanut butter and marshmallow fluff sandwich was the one that made other kids at the lunch table lean over and say, "Well, I'll be, you got a fluffer nutter." It started with the same soft white bread everybody had in the bread box. Peanut butter spread thick on one slice, smooth and salty, then a generous layer of marshmallow fluff on the other, bright white and sticky as can be. When the sandwich was pressed together, the fluff and peanut butter slowly blended into a sweet, creamy filling. By the time the lunch bell rang, the fluff had softened even more, stretching in little strands when the sandwich was pulled apart. The smell was sugary and nutty all at once. The first bite was pure sweetness. Peanut butter is rich and hearty, marshmallow light and sticky, clinging to your teeth like taffy. And before long, most kids had powdered sugar fingerprints and sticky fingers all over their lunch napkins. Number 3. Bread and syrup sandwich. Bread and syrup sandwich was about as simple as a school lunch could get. When a kid unwrapped that wax paper at the cafeteria table, the smell of pancake syrup came out before the sandwich even showed itself. It started with 2 slices of plain white bread laid flat on the counter. A slow drizzle of pancake syrup right down the middle, thick and amber-colored, spreading across the soft bread. Once the slices were pressed together, the syrup soaked into the bread like a sponge. By lunchtime, the sandwich was soft, slightly sticky, and sweet all the way through. The taste was pure sugar comfort, warm maple flavor mixed with soft bread that practically melted when you bit into it. Some kids ate it carefully. Others squeezed the sandwich just a little and watched the syrup seep out of the edges before licking their fingers clean. It wasn't fancy by any stretch, but that sweet syrup smell could turn a plain lunch break into the best part of the school day. Number 4. Butter and sugar sandwich. Butter and sugar sandwich was the kind of lunch that looked almost too simple to be real. Just white bread, butter, and a heavy sprinkle of sugar, but plenty of kids remember unwrapping one at the cafeteria table. It started with soft bread straight from the loaf. A thick layer of butter was spread across each slice while it was still cool and firm. Then a generous shake of white sugar was scattered over the butter like fresh snow. When the bread was pressed together, the sugar settled into the butter and formed a sweet, gritty layer inside the sandwich. By lunchtime, the butter had softened into the bread, and the sugar still had that little crunch when you took a bite. The flavor was rich and sweet at the same time. Creamy butter first, then the quick sparkle of sugar crystals. Some kids tilted the sandwich to keep the sugar from spilling out. Others didn't bother and ended up with sugar grains scattered across the lunch table like tiny diamonds. Number 5. Ketchup sandwich on white bread. Ketchup sandwich on white bread was the kind of lunch that made a kid glance around the cafeteria before taking the first bite. No meat, no cheese, just that bright red spread between 2 slices of bread. It started with a bottle of ketchup turned upside down over a slice of soft white bread. A generous squeeze landed in the center, then a butter knife spread edge to edge until the bread turned light pink. The second slice went on top, pressed flat, and the whole thing disappeared into a sheet of wax paper. By lunchtime, the ketchup had softened into the bread, and the sandwich soft and slightly tangy. The smell was sweet tomato and vinegar the moment the wrapper opened. The taste was surprisingly bold. sweet, a little salty, and just sharp enough to wake up your taste buds. Some kids folded it in half like a regular sandwich. Others rolled it up and ate it quickly before anyone had too many questions about what was inside. Number 6. Cheese and pickle sandwich. The cheese and pickle sandwich had a smell you could recognize the moment the wax paper opened. Sharp pickle brine mixed with creamy American cheese drifted across the lunch table. It started with 2 slices of white bread laid flat, a square of American cheese right in the middle, bright orange and smooth. Then a few thin slices of dill pickle stacked on top, still dripping a little from the jar. When the sandwich was pressed together, that pickle juice slowly soaked into the bread. By lunchtime, the bread had softened around the edges, while the pickles stayed crisp inside. The first bite snapped with that familiar pickle crunch before the creamy cheese took over. The flavor was a strange little balance that somehow worked. Salty cheese, sharp pickle tang, and soft bread holding it all together. Every bite left a little pickle scent on your fingers, and that briny taste hung around long after the lunch bell rang. Number 7. Pimento cheese sandwich. Pimento cheese sandwich was a lunch that carried a bright orange color the second it came out of the wax paper. Kids down the table could spot it right away. It started with a thick spread of pimento cheese across soft white bread. The mixture was creamy and slightly chunky, sharp cheddar blended with mayonnaise and dotted with little red pimento pieces. When the sandwich was pressed together, the spread settled into the bread like a soft filling. By lunchtime, the edges of the bread had absorbed some of that creamy mixture, making the sandwich tender and rich. The smell was cheesy, with just a hint of pepper from the pimentos. The first bite was smooth and tangy. Sharp cheese, creamy texture, and those tiny red pimentos adding a mild sweetness. Sometimes the filling squeezed out the sides, leaving orange fingerprints on napkins and lunch tables that were easy to spot from across the room. Number 8. Cold meatloaf sandwich. Cold meatloaf sandwich showed up the day after meatloaf night, and you could spot it the moment someone unwrapped their lunch. A thick slice of yesterday's dinner sitting between 2 pieces of white bread. The meatloaf had been sliced straight from the fridge, firm and dense, with that familiar ketchup glaze still clinging to the top. Placed between soft bread, it made a sandwich that looked simple, but carried the smell of a whole home-cooked dinner. By lunchtime, the bread had absorbed a little of that savory meatloaf flavor. The first bite was hearty and rich, ground beef, breadcrumbs, onion, and that slightly sweet ketchup topping. Cold meatloaf had a different texture from hot, firmer, easier to hold, almost like a homemade deli slice. Some kids added a little dab of ketchup on top. Others ate it plain, letting that thick slice of meatloaf do all the talking. Number 9. Tuna salad sandwich. A tuna salad sandwich usually showed up the day or two after a big ham dinner. When someone opened their lunchbox, you could see that pale pink spread right away. The filling started with a can of tuna emptied into a bowl and flaked apart with a fork. A scoop of mayonnaise was stirred in until everything turned creamy and pale. Spread across white bread, the tuna mixture sat thick between the slices before being wrapped up for the school day. By lunchtime, the edges of the bread had absorbed some of that creamy mixture, making the sandwich tender and rich. The smell was cheesy, with just a hint of pepper from the pimentos. The first bite was smooth and tangy. Flaky fish, creamy dressing, and soft bread all blend together. Some kids added a little pickle slice or a little celery crunch, but most remembered the classic version, simple tuna salad that left its mark on the whole lunch table. Number 10. Ham salad sandwich. A ham salad sandwich usually showed up the day or two after a big ham dinner. When someone opened their lunchbox, you could see that pale pink spread right away. The filling started with cooked ham chopped fine, sometimes run through a grinder, until it turned into tiny salty bits. A spoonful of mayonnaise mixed in, sometimes a little pickle relish too, turning it into a creamy spread. That mixture was piled onto white bread and pressed together before being wrapped up in wax paper. By lunchtime, the bread had softened slightly while the ham salad stayed thick and savory inside.
The smell carried that unmistakable cured ham flavor, with a hint of tang from the mayo. The first bite was salty, creamy, and rich, little pieces of ham throughout, smooth enough to spread but still hearty. Now and then a bit of relish popped in for a sharp little bite that made the whole sandwich wake up. Those were 10 forgotten school lunches moms packed when money was tight. Nothing fancy, just simple food wrapped in wax paper and tucked into a metal lunchbox. Now I've got to ask you, which one showed up in your lunchbox growing up? Tell me in the comments. I bet we remember more of them than we think.